Did you guys know some of the most fun games in 2025 don't even need a download? Just open your browser and boom, you're playing. From fast-paced action shooters to clever puzzle games, browser games have leveled up in big time. So whether you're bored at school, killing time at work, or just want something very quick and fun to jump in, here are 10 of the coolest browser games you can play right now in 2025. And also you don't need to have a super high-end PC to play any of these games. They're all completely free to play. There is no download needed. And also all the links will be available down in the description as well. Alright, first up we got this little game called simplyup.io. It's a very simple, chill looking browser-based climbing game, obviously inspired from the popular game Only Up. You basically drop into this vertical world full of random objects like planks, wheelbarrows, rooftops, trampolines, and your only job is to climb as high as possible without falling down. It sounds very simple, but it gets real intense real fast. It's a super easy game to pick up and play with very basic controls. You can just move around, jump into spacebar, but the tricky part is there is no any checkpoints or middle of anywhere. If you mess up or if you fall down, you basically drop down to the bottom. There is a friendly multiplayer component to it. You can see other players climbing alongside in real time. It's simple but super addicting. Great game to jump in if you have a quick break or if you want something to challenge yourself. Alright, next up we got Vortex 9, a super fun, fast-paced third-person shooter with a cartoonish and a chaotic twist. It's basically a simple and colorful arena-style shooter with various maps, weapons, and colorful characters, and each of them come with a unique set of loadouts with different weapons, and I would say even graphically the game looks pretty good for a browser game. The gameplay is pretty straightforward. You got your classic deathmatch, team battles, even a capture the point mode. You start with basic team deathmatch, but once you level up you will unlock more game modes, more weapons and characters, and the controls are very basic and easy to understand. Honestly, if you just want no stress shooter that just runs on your browser, this one is a pretty cool game to jump in. You don't really need to download anything, it's totally free to play as well. There are literally thousands of browser FPS games out there, but I found a couple of these games are very interesting and fun to play. The first one is called Overtide.io. It's a slick browser-based FPS game that is all about quick reflexes and smart plays. It's purely multiplayer Call of Duty style experience. You just pick up your loadout and jump into these fast-paced maps hitting modes like Free for All, Team Deathmatch, and Kill Confirm. There is a good variety of weapons including stuff like sniper rifles, SMGs, shotguns, assault rifles, and bunch of other goofy ones. Visually the game looks decent, but I've seen some of the other browser games with better graphics. The games like Forward Assault Remix, Bullet Force looks much better, but in terms of gameplay, the general game modes, and the overall fun that I had with it, Overtide is actually a lot better, and I even found the players are very competitive in some of the game modes, which makes it even more fun to play. All in all, a cool browser FPS game that I genuinely had fun playing. So if you're in the mood for a browser FPS that is quick and easy to jump in, definitely give it a try on this one. Alright, moving on to a pretty cool game that surprisingly became one of my favorite games to play from our today's list, and it's a game called Rooftop Run. This one is basically a first-person parkour rush through the city style of a game, where you basically have to sprint, jump, slide, and smashing glass windows while trying not to get fall off from the skyscrapers. There are a bunch of levels in the game. You have to race across them, all while trying to collect these little gold coins and also avoid police officers that try to catch you. The game is purely about this high energetic parkour gameplay. You can jump, roll, slides, and ultimately it's all come down to timing and reflexes. The levels get progressively trickier with trampolines, glass panels, even more enemy AIs trying to trip you off. Honestly, I'm kinda surprised this one is actually a browser game. Visually it looks really stunning. It's high energy, action packed, and so much fun to run around these rooftops. Definitely a fun little game to jump in if you wanna feel like a rooftop ninja for just 5 minutes. I tried out a bunch of different racing games on browser, but most of these games are pretty basic, but I found this one to be actually pretty cool, and it's a game called Rally Racer Dirt. This one is basically more like a chill out, thrilling, browser-based rally drift game. It's all about just you and your car tearing up dirt in these rally tracks. Visually it looks pretty realistic, looks more like a simulation game, but basically a casual arcade racer. The controls are very basic, very straightforward, but the cool thing is you can actually change the camera angle to first person. That's a bit of a realism to the game, I guess. But ultimately it all comes down to mastering the drift combos and staying on the road. There are a bunch of game modes available in the game. There is a challenge mode with 60 different drift heavy missions. These are basically single player. There is a survival mode where you can go past checkpoint before the time run out. Even a real-time multiplayer where you can bump into other players on PvP. All in all, a quick little browser racing game to jump in with arcade style drifting and lots of game modes to enjoy. Alright, moving on, I found out this little puzzle style of a game called Break Free. It's simple yet so addicting to play. It's a very simple, sneaky browser-based escape game where you play as a prisoner trying to time your dash between guard patrols, dodge dogs, traps, and try to escape from the facility. It's a top-down puzzle style of a game with tons of levels, and each level feels like a mini puzzle where you have to figure out the patrol patterns and slip through them when the time is right. The early levels are super easy to complete, but when you level up, it will progressively difficult. But the most difficult part is once you make your first move, you only have 30 seconds to complete the level. So it's going to be pretty challenging. There is a lot of trial and error. At the same time being so satisfying, and it's kind of a game that you keep on playing on and on. So if you like short, stealth style of challenges, this one is a pretty cool puzzle game to jump in, and it is totally free to play on your browser. When we talk about browser game, there is this one game that I always go back and check out, and that is none other than CS Online Club. It is basically the classic Counter-Strike 1.6, but you play it straight on your browser, no downloads, no installs. You just click on the server, wait a couple of minutes to load everything up, then boom, you're back in it, and it's just as fun as always. The gameplay wise, nothing really new here. It's classic Counter-Strike, exactly how you remember, but nowadays it's targeted more towards the casual audience. It's totally free to play, and there are free servers worldwide. So if you want to relive some of the golden days just messing around with friends, it is literally one of the coolest games you can boot up on your browser. One of the most unique browser FPS games you can play right now is no doubt Time Shooter 2. It's more like a slow motion action first person shooter where time moves only when you move, so every step feels more like tactical, letting you dodge some of the bullets mid-air and even line up the perfect shot to take enemies down. The gameplay wise, it's a bullet time first person action game with endless levels. You are consistently picking up new weapons, pistols, shotguns, rifles, even random environmental objects, and they all comes with a very limited number of ammo, so you gotta be careful. At the same time, clearing waves of enemies and making split-second decisions while time freezes as you pause. The game looks very cool and futuristic. It's give you that slow motion effect and is stylish, more like cinematic feel. Hands down, one of the most unique games you can check out on your browser. If you're into team-based, top-down style shooters, next up we got a game that I had so much fun playing, and it is called GridPunk 3v3. The game also called as a battle royale game, but I couldn't really found the battle royale part. As far as I can say, it's more like a team deathmatch style of a mod that is all about 3v3 battles. So overall, the game is more like a compact cyberpunk flavored team-based shooter with very fast and snappy controls. You got a roster of heroes with unique abilities, different gadgets, even heals and revives that you can deploy. There are tons of different weapons that you can pick up and play around with. The game is totally free to play on your browser, so if you're after a quick, energetic shooter that doesn't demand a download or massive time investment, this is a simple little game you can play right now for absolutely free. If you're someone who's tired of playing the popular browser FPS games like Cranker.io, our next game is something you're probably gonna enjoy. It's a similar style of a game called Core.io. It's another fast-paced browser-based FPS game with some smooth parkour mechanics thrown in. It's kind of feel like a mix between Cranker and Call of Duty, but with more jumping, wall running, and movement tricks that make it super satisfying to play. The gameplay is simply multiplayer, where you drop into these compact maps and you try to rack up kills as fast as possible. Some of the maps are genuinely inspired from Call of Duty, literally copy and paste, but I kinda like it. The shooting mechanics, the animations, the gunplay surprisingly feel polished for a browser game. You got loads of weapons, SMGs, sniper rifles, shotguns, machine guns. You got abilities like slide, double jump, chain moves. All in all, a nice little game with a mix of Call of Duty and fast-paced action. If you got some time to kill, it's a perfect game to boot up on your browser. Well, there you have it guys, 10 coolest browser games that I personally found interesting and definitely worth checking out right now. And obviously there are thousands of browser games out there, so I would love to know some of your recommendations, games that you play and enjoy. So don't forget to go ahead and drop a comment down below mentioning some of your favorite browser games. And as always guys, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe and stay tuned to the channel. I'll catch you guys soon in the next one. Stay safe.